Hi everyone, welcome back to Stoic Mindset. Today we're exploring 7 lessons that help you stay strong when you are about to give up. In life, we all encounter moments where the weight of challenges feels unbearable, and the thought of giving up seems like the only option. Whether it's due to personal setbacks, overwhelming stress, or a fear of failure, these feelings are universal. But what sets apart those who persevere from those who falter is often not strength or ability, but mindset. This is where the wisdom of Stoic philosophy comes invaluable. Stoicism, a philosophy that has endured for over 2 millennia, teaches us how to remain resilient in the face of adversity. The Stoics believed that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. By focusing on what we can influence and accepting what we cannot, Stoicism helps us cultivate inner strength, clarity, and endurance. In this article, we will explore 7 timeless Stoic lessons that can help you stay strong when you're on the verge of giving up. These lessons aren't about dismissing challenges or pretending everything is fine. They're about learning how to find strength within yourself, even when the world around you feels overwhelming. With the guidance of Stoic principles, you'll discover that resilience isn't just about enduring hardship, but about growing through it. Stay with me. Let's dive into these 7 lessons that might just change the way you face adversity. Your journey to strength begins now. Lesson 1. Find your whys. The power of purpose in overcoming the urge to give up. Everyone faces moments where the desire to give up seems overwhelming. Whether it's due to fear of failure, concern about what others might think, boredom, frustration, or exhaustion, the urge to throw in the towel is a universal experience. But behind this urge often lies a deeper reason, one that reflects not only our immediate discomfort, but also a lack of clear purpose or why. Understanding your whys, the reasons you started something in the first place, can serve as the critical motivation to keep going when everything in you says to quit. During the Korean War, medical officers coined the term give-up-itis to describe a phenomenon where soldiers, after enduring extreme trauma, would succumb to a loss of hope so severe that they willed themselves to die. Though they had no physical injuries to account for their deaths, their minds had essentially given up. This tragic example illustrates the sheer power of mental determination in shaping outcome. While most of us won't face such dire circumstances, the lesson is clear. Our mindset has profound effects on our ability to endure challenges. So why do we give up? In many cases, it's because we lose sight of the purpose behind our efforts. When tasks become mundane, or the obstacles ahead seem insurmountable, it's easy to question why we started in the first place. But what if we stopped in these moments of doubt to reflect on our underlying reasons? The deeper whys that sparked our journey. The power of purpose becomes evident when we recognize that every challenge, no matter how grueling, is connected to something larger than ourselves. Take fear of failure, for instance. It's one of the most common reasons people abandon their goals. We worry about judgment, about making mistakes, or about not being good enough. But when you find your why, it shifts your perspective. Ask yourself, why did you begin this endeavor? Is it to improve your life, to help others, or to achieve a long-term dream? When you root your actions in these fundamental purposes, fear fades into the background. Instead of worrying about failure, you're driven by a passion for what achieving your goal could bring. The same goes for emotions like anger, depression, or exhaustion. These feelings can cloud our judgment, making us feel as though quitting is the only option. But in these moments, reminding yourself of your purpose can serve as a compass. Key is to connect what you're doing to something meaningful, either for yourself or for others. This could be striving to achieve personal growth, to provide for your family, or to make a positive impact on the world. When your efforts serve a larger goal, they stop feeling like chores and start to feel like meaningful steps on a larger journey. Boredom, too, is a common culprit. But what if the task you find boring today is a stepping stone to something exciting tomorrow? When you find value in the seemingly mundane, it transforms your experience. Instead of viewing these moments as barriers, you see them as necessary parts of the process, bringing you one step closer to where you want to be. In every situation where you feel like giving up, it's crucial to step back and ask, why did I start and why should I continue? Is the work you're doing aligning with your larger goals? Does it benefit others in a way that brings you satisfaction? The moment you reconnect with these questions, you'll feel more invested and enthusiastic about pushing forward. Rather than being driven by short-term emotions or immediate frustrations, you become motivated by a sense of purpose. In the end, the decision to persist isn't just about grit or willpower. It's about finding meaning in the struggle, seeing the bigger picture, and remembering why you're here in the first place. When you understand your whys, no obstacle feels too great, no setback too discouraging, because you're not just moving forward blindly, you're working towards something that matters. So the next time you feel like giving up, take a moment to rediscover your why, and you might find the strength to keep going. Lesson 2. Solitude is power. In a world that glorifies constant connectivity, choosing solitude might seem radical, but stepping back from the noise allows you to find clarity and strength within yourself. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's a chance to reconnect with your inner values and purpose. And you feel like giving up, take a step back and embrace the silence. It might be the most powerful move you can make. There's a profound difference between being alone and being lonely. I used to fear solitude, thinking it was a sign of failure or social rejection. But it was during the toughest periods of my life, when I felt isolated and cut off from the world, that I discovered the true power of being alone. Solitude offers a unique opportunity to reflect and reset without the constant barrage of external opinions and distractions. You can tune into your own thoughts and feelings. It's a space where you can confront your fears, question your assumptions, and rediscover what truly matters to you. Think about it. We're constantly bombarded with messages telling us we need to be connected, to share every moment, to seek validation from others, but this can drown out or inner voice. Solitude is a chance to silence the external noise and listen to yourself. It's not about being antisocial, it's about finding balance and strength within. Some of the most transformative moments of my life have come during times of solitude. When I lost my job, I felt abandoned and alone, but rather than seeking distraction, I embraced the solitude. I went on long hikes, journaled my thoughts, and spent time meditating. It was during these moments that I found clarity and a renewed sense of purpose. Solitude taught me to be comfortable with myself, to face my fears without the crutch of constant company. It's in solitude that I've made some of my most important decisions and found the strength to keep going. It's where I learned that my value doesn't depend on others' opinions, but on my own understanding and acceptance of myself. Many of the world's greatest thinkers, artists, and leaders have sought solitude as a source of inspiration and strength. They knew that to truly understand themselves and their path, they needed to step away from the crowd. Solitude is not a retreat from life, but a deeper engagement with it. When you feel like giving up, consider taking a step back into solitude. It might seem counterintuitive in a world that values constant interaction, but it can be incredibly powerful. Solitude allows you to recharge, to find your center, and to emerge stronger and more focused. Embrace the silence, and you might find the answers you've been seeking. Lesson 3. Embrace pain as a teacher. Most people run from pain, but what if enduring it makes you stronger? Pain is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. It reveals your limits and shows you where you need to grow. Stoicism teaches to face pain head-on, understanding that suffering is a part of life that shapes our character. Don't shy away from discomfort, use it to fortify your resolve. I remember a time when I was at my lowest. I had just lost my job and everything seemed to be falling apart. The pain was overwhelming, and I felt like I was trapped in a dark tunnel with no end in sight. Every day was a struggle. Just to get out of bed, I wanted to escape, to numb the pain, but then I stumbled upon a Stoic principle that changed my perspective. Pain is a teacher. At first, it felt counterintuitive. How could this suffering possibly teach me anything? But as I sat with my pain, I began to see its lessons. It forced me to confront my fears and insecurities, to question my values and what truly mattered to me. Pain became a mirror reflecting my deepest truths and pushing me to grow in ways I never thought possible. Pain strips away the superficial. It demands that you face yourself raw and unfiltered. It's in these moments of intense discomfort that you find your true strength. The world often tells us to avoid pain, to seek comfort and ease, but the Stoics knew that pain is an inevitable part of life. Rather than running from it, they embraced it as a crucial component of personal growth. Think about physical training. When you lift weights, so you're essentially tearing muscle fibers, causing pain. But it's this very process that leads to muscle growth and increased strength. The same principle applies to emotional and mental pain. It breaks you down, yes, but it also builds you up. Each moment of suffering is an opportunity to become stronger, more resilient. There was a night when I felt completely defeated. I was sitting alone in my apartment, consumed by a sense of failure. I felt the weight of my circumstances gruss, hing me butte in that solitude. I began to see the lesson pain was offering me. It was teaching me perseverance, patience, and humility. It was reminding me that life's greatest lessons often come wrapped in hardship. Embrace your pain. Let it be your guide, showing you where you need to grow and what you need to change. Don't numb it with distractions or run from it in fear. Face it, learn from it, and let it shape you into a stronger, wiser person. Pain is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Remember, the strength you gain from embracing pain is the strength that will carry you through your darkest hours. Lesson 4. Let go of rigid goals. Goals are often seen as essential, but they can also become burdens. When your goals start to weigh you down, it might be time to let them go. Focus instead on the process and the present moment. The Stoics believed in embracing the journey, not just the destination. Letting go of rigid expectations frees you to adapt and grow without the pressure of constant achievement. I used to be obsessed with setting goals. I had lists, vision boards, and daily affirmations. I thought by setting clear, ambitious goals, I'd be able to control my destiny. But over time, I realized that my goals were becoming a source of anxiety rather than inspiration. Every missed milestone felt like a personal failure. I was constantly stressed trying to force progress, and when things didn't go as planned, it shattered my confidence. It was exhausting, and I began to question the value of these goals that were supposed to drive me forward. Here's the raw truth: goals can become shackles. They can trap you in a cycle of striving. Lesson 5. Seek challenges, not comfort. Society tells us to seek comfort and avoid challenges, but true strength comes from facing adversity. Note avoiding it deliberately. Put yourself in challenging situations to build resilience. The more you confront difficulties, the stronger you become. Comfort zones are the enemy of growth. Step into the storm willingly and you'll discover your true potential. From a young age, we're conditioned to seek comfort. We're told to find secure jobs, live in safe neighborhoods, and surround ourselves with like-minded people. Comfort is as marketed as the ultimate goal. But what if it told you that comfort can actually be a prison disguised as paradise? There was a time in my life when I chose the easy path. I took a job that was stable but uninspiring, lived in a routine that was safe but monotonous. I avoided risks, thinking I was smart to protect myself from failure and discomfort. But deep down, I felt stagnant, like I was just existing rather than truly living. It wasn't until I started embracing challenges that my life began to change. I remember signing up for a marathon event. I wasn't a runner. The training was grueling, and there were days I wanted to quit, but crossing that finish line taught me more about my strength and resilience than any whatever could. Challenges force you to growth. They push you to your limits, and then beyond. When you deliberately seek out difficult situations, you build resilience, grit, and tenacity. You learn to handle stress and adversity with grace. Comfort might keep you safe, but it won't make you strong. Think of the great figures in history. They didn't achieve greatness by staying comfortable. They sought out challenges, took risks, and faced their fear. Shedding on it through struggle and hardship. The true greatness is for Jed. They understood that the path to success is rarely smooth or easy, but it's always worth it. When you choose to face challenges, you're choosing growth. You're saying that you're willing to endure discomfort for the sake of becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. It's not about being reckless or seeking pain for its own sake. It's about recognizing that the most rewarding experiences often come from the most difficult journeys. One of the most significant challenges I ever faced, as starting my own business, it was a leap into the unknown filled with sleepless nights, financial strain, and constant uncertainty. But it was also one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I learned more about myself, my strengths, and my ability to adapt than I ever could have in a comfortable corporate job. Stepping into challenges also teaches your resilience. Life is unpredictable, and comfort can make us complacent. When you regularly challenge yourself, you build a mental toughness that helps you handle whatever life throws your way. You become more adaptable, more creative, and more prepared to seize opportunities when they arise. Comfort zones are the enemy of growth. They keep you safe but stagnify you. Want to discover your true potential, you have to step out of the familiar and into the unknown. Embrace challenges, seek out adversity, and face your fear head on. It's in these moments of struggle that you'll find your greatest strengths and achieve your most significant growth. The next time you're faced with a choice between comfort and challenge, choose the path that pushes you. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure, and so is your true potential. Seek challenges, not comfort, and you'll discover a strength within you that you never knew existed. Lesson 6. Detach from emotion. Emotions are unnatural, but they can also cloud judgment and weaken resolve. The Stoic approach encourages emotional detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent. but rather gaining control over your reactions. By mastering your emotions, you maintain clarity and strength in the face of adversity. Detachment is not apathy, it's mastery over oneself. I used to be a slave to my emotions when things went wrong. I'd get angry, frustrated, or ventus. My moods were like a roller coaster driven by every twist and turn of life. It wasn't until I discovered the Stoic principle of emotional detachment that I began to find true peace and strength. Emotions are a natural part of the human experience. But when they control us, they can lead us astray. We make rash decisions, then anger, become paralyzed by fear, or sink into despair. When faced with setbacks, the Stoics taught that while we cannot control external events, we can control our reactions to them. Detaching from emotions doesn't mean suppressing them or becoming unfeeling. It's about acknowledging your emotions, understanding their origins, and then choosing a rational response. It's the ability to remain centered and composed no matter what life throws at you. I remember a particularly challenging period when my personal and professional life seemed to be falling apart simultaneously. My initial reaction was to panic and let stress consume me, but I decided to practice emotional detachment. I started by recognizing my emotions without judgment. I acknowledged my fear, my anger, and my sadness. Then I took a step back and asked myself, what can I control in this situation? This shift in perspective was transformative. Instead of reacting impulsively, I began to respond thoughtfully. I became more focused on finding solutions rather than dwelling on problems. My clarity and composure not only helped me navigate through the crisis, but also inspired confidence in those around. Look at some of history's greatest leaders and thinkers. They were not devoid of emotions, but they mastered them. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher, faced immense challenges. Yet his writings reveal a man who maintained inner peace through rational detachment. Nelson Mandela endured decades of imprisonment without letting bitterness consume him, emerging as a beacon of hope and reconciliation. Emotional detachment is a skill that takes practice. It starts with mindfulness, being aware of your emotional triggers and your reactions when you feel a strong emotion. Rising, pause, and breathe. Give yourself a moment to assess the situation rationally. Ask yourself, is this reaction helping me or hindering me? Another powerful technique is cognitive reframing. Instead of seeing a setback as a disaster, view it as a challenge or an opportunity for growth. This mental shift can change your emotional response from despair to determination. Detachment from emotions doesn't mean becoming detached from life. It means engaging with life more fully with a clear and balanced mind. It's about being proactive rather than reactive, resilient rather than brittle. It's about finding strength in calmness and clarity in chaos. When you learn to master your emotions, you become more resilient. You can handle stress, disappointment, and event rage. Die with grace and strength. You become a pillar of stability for yourself and those around you. Emotional detachment is not about becoming cold-hearted. It's about gaining emotional intelligence and control. Lesson 7. Be your own advocate. Don't rely on others to validate your worth or fight your battles. Stand up for yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. Self-advocacy is about recognizing your value and demanding respect. It's about taking control of your destiny rather than waiting for others to hand you opportunities. Be bold, be assertive, and don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. I used to be the type of person who waited for others to recognize my worth and give me what I deserved. Whether it was a promotion at work, validation from friends, or acknowledgement from family, I believed that if I just worked hard and stayed quiet, good things would come my way. But the truth is, waiting for others to advocate for you often leads to disappointment. Here's a raw truth. No one will fight for you as fiercely as you can fight for yourself. The world is full of noise and distractions. And if you don't assert your value, it's easy to be overlooked or taken for granted. Being your own advocate means recognizing your worth and making sure others recognize it too. There was a pivotal moment in my career when I realized this. I had been passed over for a promotion I knew I deserved. Instead of quietly accepting it, I decided to take action. I scheduled a meeting with my boss and laid out my achievements, my contributions, and why I believed I was the best candidate for the position. It was nerve-wracking, but it worked. I got the promotion because I spoke up and made my case. Advocating for yourself is not just about career advancement. It's about without setting boundaries in your personal life, standing up against unfair treatment, and ensuring your needs are met. It's about being assertive in all areas of your life. This doesn't mean being aggressive or disrespectful. It means being clear, confident, and firm about what you deserve. Many people, especially those who are naturally introverted or conflict averse, struggle with self-advocacy. But it's a skill that can be developed. Start by recognizing your accomplishments and strengths. Write them down. If you have to practice speaking up in small ways, whether it's sharing your ideas in a meeting or expressing your needs in a relationship, the more you do it, the more confident you'll become. Think of the most successful people you admire. They didn't get where Pierre by waiting for others to open doors for them. They knocked on those doors themselves, and if they didn't open, they found another way and they were their own biggest advocates. This is a lesson I've seen time and again in the lives of great leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers. One of the most empowering realizations you can have is that you are responsible for your own destiny. This means taking charge of your life and not relying on others to propel you forward. When you advocate for yourself, you take control of your narrative. You become the author of your story, not just character waiting for something to happen. There will be times when advocating for yourself feels uncomfortable. You might fear rejection or backlash, but the discomfort is worth. Each time you stand up for yourself, you reinforce your self-worth and build your confidence. You send a message to the world and to yourself. You are deserving of respect and opportunities. Being your own advocate also means protecting your mental and emotional well-being. It's about saying no to things that drain you and yes to things that nourish you. It's about prioritizing your needs and not feeling guilty for putting yourself first. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Self-advocacy is a form of self-care. So the next time you find yourself waiting for someone else to recognize your worth or give you what you deserve, remember this: you have the power to advocate for yourself. These lessons might be controversial, but they carry profound wisdom. Before you give up, consider embracing these Stoic principles. Strength comes not from avoiding discomfort, but from facing it. Theodon stays strong. And remember, the greatest challenges often preceded the most significant breakthroughs. Life is a journey filled with peaks and valleys. There will be moments when you feel invincible and times when you feel like you're at the brink of despair. It's in these valleys when you feel like giving up that the principles of Stoicism can guide you through. They remind us that we have the inner strength to endure, to overcome, and to rise again. Think of the many who have walked this path before us, from the ancient Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus to modern-day icons who have faced tremendous odds. These individuals have shown us that embracing adversity, maintaining integrity, and advocating for oneself are not just philosophical ideals, but practical tools for daily life. I've been there too. I faced moments of doubt, times when the weight of the world seemed too much to bear. It was in those moments that I found strength in these stoical sons. They're not just abstract ideas, they're lifelines that can pull us out of our darkest days and push us towards the light. Every time you choose to endure, every time you decide to push through the pain, you are writing a new chapter in your story, one of resilience, courage, and triumph. You're not alone on this journey. We'll face the struggles and hardships, but together we can rise above them. Let these lessons be your guide when you feel like giving up. Remember that you have the power to change your story. You have the strength to keep going, to fight for your dreams, and to become the best version of yourself. The road ahead may be tough, but it's also filled with incredible possibilities. By embracing the wisdom of the Stoics, you can navigate the twists and turns with grace and strength. You can find clarity in chaos, resilience in adversity, and hope in despair. You are stronger than you think, and your journey is far from over. So stay strong, keep going, and embrace the journey. The greatest challenges often precede the most significant breakthrough. Remember, you are capable of more than you can. Imagine keeping the flame of hope alive and let it guide you through the darkest nights. Motivation is often the spark that gets us moving toward our goals, but it can be unpredictable. One day, you're energized and ready to conquer the world. The next, even the simplest tasks seem overwhelming. This ebb and flow of motivation is something we all experience, yet it plays a critical role in how we achieve success and maintain productivity. The good news is that motivation isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's something you can actively cultivate and sustain. Whether you're striving to improve your health, advance in your career, or simply get through a busy day, finding ways to boost your motivation can make all the difference. Many times, when motivation dips, it's not a matter of laziness or lack of willpower. It's about not having the right strategies in place to keep your momentum going. When you learn how to nurture your inner drive, you'll find that staying motivated becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural part of your routine. In the next part of this video, we'll explore 6 practical and effective tips to help boost your motivation when you need it most. These strategies, rooted in psychology and real-world experiences, are designed to not only help you get back on track, to maintain a steady level of enthusiasm and drive. From setting meaningful goals to creating a supportive environment, these tips will give you the tools you need to stay focused and energized. So, if you've been feeling stuck or uninspired lately, don't worry, you're about to discover how to reignite your motivation and take charge of your journey. 1. Work out every day. The endorphins produced by exercise can help to reduce stress and anxiety, boost mood, and improve your sleep. What's more, according to a 2015 study, aerobic exercise improves your cognitive functions in a number of ways, including the ability to learn and retain new information. And research published in 2014 shows that exercise also boosts creative thinking. All of this combined makes you feel good, and it's far easier to stick to your goals when you feel refreshed and your body is performing at its peak. 2. Make a schedule and stick to it. Staying motivated doesn't just happen. We have to set our intentions and choose behaviors that will keep us on the right track. They provide a vital structure that will keep us going, regardless of how we're thinking or feeling on any given day, almost automating the difficult thing we have to do. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do," so set dedicated times to work on your goals. Put them in your calendar and don't book anything else in for those times. 3. Make a list of goals. Write down your goals and visualize how you'll feel when you hit each one. Confucius said, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." So start small and focus on high-priority tasks. But beware of multitasking. Research shows that it takes a lot of mental energy to refocus after you've been distracted. Another study suggests that it takes around 23 minutes to regain your concentration when you switch between tasks. The key then is to focus on one important goal at a time. 4. Find some mentors. It's great to want to carve your own path, but successful, motivated people know that everyone needs a hand along the way. Find a mentor, or more than one, and regularly take time to talk about your goals and receive encouragement from someone who's been in the same boat and who knows how to steer it. Open up to colleagues, your boss, friends, and family too. Mentors don't have to be experts to give you support and offer you a sounding board. Knowing other people have got your back will boost your confidence, give you a fresh perspective, and help you to maintain a sense of direction. 5. Take care of yourself and think positively. Our brains release dopamine in anticipation of a reward, and this makes us feel good. So, keep track of your efforts and reward yourself along the way. Fill up on mood-boosting foods. Do things you enjoy. Listen to inspiring music and remind yourself of how far you've come. Surround yourself with positive people who will help you to get in the zone. Should you fail, always look for learning opportunities instead of dwelling on the negative. One big but. Some situations really are bad for you, and in these cases it's absolutely right to stop or give up. If carrying on is making you ill or truly miserable, then it's likely not the right path. Changing direction when this happens can be a powerful way to rediscover your mojo. 6. Stop comparing yourself with other people. Albert Einstein said, "It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer." If you don't believe in your potential, then no one else will, regardless of how good you are. Draw inspiration from those around you, but don't beat yourself up if you're not on the same level in certain areas. And don't be lured by the greener grass over the fence. Remember, nobody's life is perfect. This can be hard in our social media-dominated world. Often, we only see the happy highlights from those around us. Fancy holidays, dream jobs, perfect relationships. But what you see online is only half the story. Everyone is facing their own struggles, and everyone has bad days, just like you. Key findings on never giving up. We all have days when we lose motivation, but don't be too hard on yourself when they happen. It can be difficult sometimes to judge whether we need to push a bit harder or are just banging our head against a wall. Check your purpose, chances of success, whether you really have to do it all yourself, and what you're going to get out of it. Find the balance between being kind to yourself and being your own boot camp leader. You don't have to wait for motivation to hit you, but you do have to work to stay on track. Take action, organize your goals, and be diligent with your routine. And be flexible. We often give up on goals because we're unwilling to compromise our original expectations. Always think about your whys and what you're learning, and when something's not right, feel free to change direction. As we navigate the complexities of life, temptation to give up can be strong. But as the Stoics remind us, true strength lies not in avoiding hardship, but in facing it with wisdom and resilience. Challenges we encounter are inevitable. How we respond to them is within our control. By embracing Stoic principles, we can learn to shift our focus away from what we cannot change and toward what we can, our attitudes, actions, and perception. The 7 lessons we've explored offer a roadmap for enduring life's most difficult moments. Whether it's practicing mindfulness, accepting the limits of control, or understanding the temporary nature of pain, these teachings serve as powerful tools for building mental fortitude. Stoicism teaches us to see obstacles not as threats, but as opportunities for growth. When we shift our perspective, adversity becomes a teacher, shaping us into stronger, more resilient individuals. In times of doubt or despair, remember that perseverance is not about sheer willpower alone. It's about clarity of purpose. The Stoics teach that the key to endurance lies in aligning our actions with our values and understanding that every setback is part of a larger journey. When we stay grounded in this perspective, giving up becomes less of an option and more of a fleeting thought. What truly matters is not how many times we fall, but how many times we rise again. Incorporating these Stoic lessons into your daily life can help you stay strong when you're on the verge of giving up. The path may not always be easy, but with the right mindset, you will find the strength to keep moving forward. Stoicism reminds us that while we can't always control the circumstances of life, we have the power to control how we face them. And that is where true resilience lies. If you find the lessons great, write the lessons in the comments section below the video. Like and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more Stoic insights and inspiration. Sharing this video with friends, we can build a resilient and empowering community together. Thank you for watching and meeting you in the next video.